And we'll continue to monitor a handful of topics. I think one of those that has been brought into play and discussion has been the physicality that we see in this league. And we see it on a night-by-night basis. Dawn, I know you see it. You experience it as a player. You experience it as a player. How would you characterize the level that it's at now and your perspective on it?
Yeah, I mean, this is a grown women's game. You know how they say it's a grown man's game? This is a grown woman's game. And I was sitting with AZ Fudd as we were watching the Dream versus Dallas Wings game. And I was like, hey, what sticks out to you just sitting here courtside? Like, what are you seeing? And the first thing she said was physicality. So I think that is a jump from college to pro, where in college, you know, you might play one All-American in a game, maybe two if this is a really, really good team. But in the pros, everybody on the roster, 90% of your roster is probably an All-American, is probably a statistical leader coming from college. And so the physicality and that whole transition from just the top is just, the talent level is just very, very high. I think that's just one of the things you just have to get used to on a nightly basis.
I mean, it is when you're in college and you're coaching college players, you have to have a level of physicality, the way you practice. I think the weight programs are so key, especially if you have players who want to make it to the next level. That is the edge that we create at South Carolina, is the weight room, the nutrition, creating these pro habits. So once you get to the next level, you don't want to worry about making adjustments for the physicality. You don't want to worry about making adjustments to eating all the right things. You don't want to make adjustments to being in great condition. It's hard enough to make a WNBA team. Yeah. So once you already have those habits, once you understand how physical you need to play, you just smoothly go into what you normally do. It is super important, uber important, that you get your mentality ready for that part of it. And although it is some transition, you just have to know. And the teams that play at the top of the NCAA tournament and go deep into the tournament, they really understand the difference of when you start playing against other great teams who are physical. It's an adjustment. It's an adjustment for all of us when you play against someone that's more physical than you. The league, every single game is physical, and you have to just try to figure out how you fit into that. You just got to go through it because there's no way around it.
Quick, Renee, in your starting five, you had mentioned how many key and star players have been injured. And we've seen a lot of injuries at this early part of the season. Do you think you would attribute some of that to the level of physicality? Oh,
man, injuries are just one of those things where I've seen somebody make the same move 100 times, and then on that 101, they step and something pops. I think it's hard to attribute to that. If it's the college players coming in, possibly because you come straight from NCAA. If you're a team that makes it deep into the run, you're probably either having a championship parade and then going straight to the draft, and you have a training camp, and then you're right into the season. I mean, it was talked about a lot with last year's draft class when people started to understand just how quick that timeline is. Other than that, I really think injuries, it's just, you can't prevent an injury. You know, the most disciplined players that have the best system, that have the best training, the best routines, I've seen them get hurt the most sometimes. So it's just really, you can't really predict that. But it is a physical league. I just wouldn't attribute that to it.
And I also think the rules of the game, for those that are new viewers to the WNBA versus college versus the NBA, there's different rules, whether it's handshaking, whether it's freedom of movement, what that looks like. And so, if you're going to play in the pros, you better be ready.
Giddy up, baby, giddy up.
We are ready. We are ready all season long. We will be here for you on CBS. You can catch us as we break things down throughout the course of the year. For Dawn Staley, Renee Montgomery, I'm Sarah Kustok. We'll see you next time.